Okay, so I know it's been a while since my last video, but anyway, hi. I recently spent an entire week of my life trying to download one program, and over that week I had to download two computers onto my computer, eventually delete Windows, didn't actually have to do that, but I wanted to, and combine multiple processes to accomplish one goal, since each process on its own wouldn't work, and even contact the primary maintainer of the software for help. I'm talking about installing ZynAddSubFX for Windows. After a long and painfully annoying journey, I figured out how to install it and have made a simple guide for installing it on Windows so you don't have to suffer like I did. Also, I don't plan for tutorials or Blender model showcases to be the entirety of this channel, but so far that's all I have, so someday my channel will have more variety, but that day is not today. So when I said I had to delete Windows, like I said, I did that because I wanted to, not because I had to, and that was just on my laptop. My desktop computer is still completely Windows. But yeah, for this process you need to download a distribution of Linux. If you somehow don't know what that is, it's a computer operating system, like Windows or OS X. I chose Ubuntu and ended up liking it so much that I replaced my laptop's Windows with Ubuntu. But again, you don't need to do that. You could just delete Linux off your system once you're done with this if you'd like. I'd recommend setting up dual boot so that you can switch between Windows and Ubuntu every time you restart your computer. And if you do it on the same hard drive, Ubuntu should be able to see your Windows files, which will make one of these steps a bit quicker and easier. I will have all of the steps written into the description, and hopefully this helps you because I don't really want anyone to have to go through what I did to get this. So yeah, once you have Ubuntu or your distribution of choice, but I would recommend Ubuntu as I used it and, it worked, open the operating system and we're going to start from there. The rest of the video is unscripted, so might be a little bit less composed than the beginning here, but I did my best to make it make sense. Alright, here I am in Ubuntu, and so I'm just going to get right into it. So first what you're going to do, go to your web browser, and go to the official GitHub. So you're going to go to the ZynAddSubFX GitHub. There should be 8 repositories. Go to the Zyn-Fusion-Build repository. And what you'll see should look something like this. If you're in light mode, obviously it'll look different. But yeah. If you come down here to the README, this is where we're going to be spending most of our time. Or, aside from the terminal. We're going to be spending time terminal and the README. So, essentially, we're going to follow the exact steps they provide us here, but we're going to combine two processes because neither of them work on their own, but they both work separately, and the parts of them that work are opposite parts. So you have one that does one part correctly, but not the other, and the other process does one part incorrectly, but does the other part correctly. So we're going to have to combine two processes. That's how this is going to work. So we're going to use this to compile ZynAddSubFX. We're going to use this to compile Zest, which if you're unfamiliar, Zest is what makes ZynAddSubFX look like what it is. Zest is the UI. So just to show you, I have the Linux version right here because I also wanted a copy for my Linux computer so I can mess around when I'm on Linux. And of course, it looks like this and stuff. It looks all nice. It's gray. It's blue. It looks really good. This UI is called Zest. As you can see, I'm running version 3.0.7. That's the latest version as of making this video. So, essentially, you're going to use this to compile Zyn. You're going to use this to compile Zest. If you don't understand, that's fine. We're just going to follow these steps exactly. And as long as you do that, we should be good. So you're going to start on Ubuntu. If you do not have a distribution of Linux chosen, choose Ubuntu because it worked for me. And if you choose something else, it's possible it might not work. I don't know. This script is a little bit, finicky. So it can be possible, it is possible, that the only reason I got success was because I was using Ubuntu instead of a different distribution. So if you haven't chosen one, just choose Ubuntu, and that's where we're going to start. So go here, open your terminal, and do this. You can copy this, fetch repository, so go to the terminal, paste it, and so also your terminal, if you just got Ubuntu for the sole purpose of this, it's going to say something like Git is not installed. It'll tell you how to install Git. It's going to say like you can install it with sudo apt git or sudo apt install git or something. But yeah, just do that, and when you're finished with that, it is going to tell you it was finished, or if you're unfamiliar with terminal stuff, essentially when it finishes, if it doesn't tell you it's finished, this is just going to come back up. Because this is where you type in your prompt, and when it's working, this doesn't show up. You don't get the name of your computer or the file system or whatever. It just is blank. But yeah, what you're going to do is, afterward, is this. CD, which means change directory. So basically, you're currently in this folder. CD is just going to mean go into this folder, because we just made that folder. So, CD, Zyn, Fusion-Build. And so now we're here. So this is where we are now. What we're going to do is we're going to go to here. Building for Windows, cross-compiling on Linux. So what we're going to do, install build dependencies. Before you do this, real quick, I would like to specify, moreover, down here in this section, build types modes, you can choose between either demo or release mode. Demo mode is the default. Demo will automatically mute after 10 minutes. You don't want that, I assume, because you can just download the demo mode from their website. So you probably wouldn't want to go to all the effort to compile it when you could just download it. So what you're going to do is this, to specify the mode is release instead of demo, because as it says, demo is the default. So as you can see, in between the make word and the -f, they put the mode equals release. So I don't know where you actually have to put it. I think you only have to put it in this step at the end when you're packaging it. But again, I don't know for sure. So I just put it in between everything. So this says make-f make file.windows.mk install dependencies. Put it in here. Make, and then put a space, mode equals release -f. If you don't know how to use the terminal, you're just going to do this. Paste. Also, if you're new to a terminal, pressing Control-V or Control-C, you can't use those. You have to right-click to copy and paste and stuff. Anyway, you're going to go just here, mode equals release. And then you just press enter, and it'll do the thing. It'll download what you're looking for. But yeah. And so you now should be here, and once you run that, you should have some files. This is my personal Linux build. We're building it for Windows, yes, but I've already built it for Windows, and that's already on my Windows computer. So I have my personal Linux copy here, so that's why it looks like this. Yours is going to look different. But yeah, you're going to be in that folder. It just means you're in that folder. And now what we're going to do is this step. Parallel equals 1, make -f, make file.windows.mk, ZynAddSubFX. Do not do this. This is going to run all three of these, and for some reason, cross-compiling on Linux fails when it gets to the Zest build. So, yeah, Zest doesn't work when you're cross-compiling on Linux for some reason, but compiling ZynAddSubFX does. So, parallel equals 1, make, remember, mode equals release. Again, I don't know where you need to put it, but or which line you need to put it in, but I put it in every single line just to be safe. It didn't break anything, so certainly no reason not to. But yeah, just you put that there, in between the make and -f, make file.windows.mk, ZynAddSubFX. And then once you're done, that is going to be in this folder, right? And then you'll know when it's done, of course, because it's going to do this. It's going to come back to this line, and it's going to be waiting for your next prompt. And so what you're going to do now is, I'm not going to close that. What you're going to do is now we're going to leave Ubuntu. Not going to actually do that. I'm going to stay on Ubuntu and just describe the process. We're going to leave Ubuntu and come down here to this. And building for Windows native build via Mises2. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to say Mises. That's not right, but I'm going to do that anyway. You must install Mises2 first. Remember to always use the MingW64 terminal. If you're confused, this just takes you here. The MingW64 thing, the Mises2 thing, it's just terminals, I think. But I know the MingW64 terminal is a terminal. But yeah, it's going to install like 3 different terminals or something. I don't know, because I only used the one they told me to, which is this. Any other terminal will not work, it says. So, yeah. But you install the Mises2, you install that, it will come with the MingW64 terminal already. If it doesn't, then you need to check and make sure you installed it correctly. But yeah, open the MingW64 terminal, and yeah, you're going to do this, finish updating the Mises installation by running this, pacman sui, twice. And that's just going to like update your terminal or something. You don't have to go to these, I don't think. You can if you want, but I don't remember them being important. It's just kind of describing what the pacman thing is doing. It's just like updating it. But anyway, bootstrapping. So now what we're going to do is this. I think you can do all this at once, but if it doesn't work, just do it one at a time. So do this, pacman s git make, git clone this, change directory Zyn-Fusion-Build. And so we're going to be back to here. It's going to look like this. I mean, it's not, you're probably going to have stuff leading into this, but on Linux you can just type clear, and it clears the terminal. I don't know if it'll do that in MingW64, but it might. Anyway, do that. You're here now, basically. And now what you're going to do, install required tools, make -f, install dependencies. Remember, put mode equals release in between the make and -f. Again, still not sure, but doesn't hurt because it didn't break anything when I was making it. Okay, and then remember, do not do this, okay? To compile everything, do not do this. We're not compiling everything because it's going to fail when it tries to compile ZynAddSubFX. MingW64, for some reason, will not compile ZynAddSubFX, it's going to fail, but it can compile Zest, right? So that's why we need to use the 2 different methods, because the other one worked for compiling Zyn, and this one only works for compiling Zest. So what you're going to do is you're going to run this line specifically, and remember, mode equals release in between the make and -f. And there we go. Now it's going to try and run that. You type that in, blah, blah, blah. It's going to go, and it's going to do stuff. Once that's done, okay, this is going to be a little weird. So, let me just make a new folder here for the sake of an example. We'll call it Zyn-Fusion-Build 2. Right? And so, let's say this is your Windows folder. Because you just got it from this one, right? On Linux, you made this one for Windows, and on Windows you made the same folder, but just on Windows. So what you're going to do here is you're going to take this, and you're going to put it on a USB drive or something, and move it to Linux, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to put this in this. And, of course, it's going to ask, like, hey, here's all these files, or you don't, no, you don't put this in this, right? You open it. This is empty because I just made a new folder, but it's gonna have like all of this kind of stuff, but it's for Zest, right? In this folder, you're gonna have like all your ZynAddSubFX files, and in this folder, you're gonna have all your Zest files and stuff, right? You need them to be in the same folder so that you can package them. So you're gonna like select these, copy them, and then paste them in here. And then what you're going to do It's not going to look exactly like this. This is my personal Linux copy, so the file names and stuff might be different. Like this, I don't know if this would be on Windows. It might, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, you're going to put them in here. It's going to ask if you want to replace the same file. Yes, that stuff doesn't really matter. What does matter is getting the special files from this one to this one. So, this one has Zest, this one has Zyn. You want all the Zest files in Zyn, and yeah. So, just gonna open this, select everything, cut it, copy it, whatever you want, and then put it in this folder. Don't overwrite anything. Do not, like, paste over this stuff. Just paste in the folder. And, yeah, paste. And then just let it run. It's going to ask you if you want to replace, like, folders that have the same names, or files that have the same names and stuff. You can let it do that. That'll be fine. Because what we're looking for are files that don't have the same name, because those are going to be the different ZynAddSubFX and Zest files. So once that's done, it might look something like this. Not sure. I'm not sure if there's going to be a build folder yet. There might be. But anyway, now, once you've got the Windows files over to Linux, go back to Linux, and also, for the sake of the example, I'm going to close the terminal, reopen the terminal, and remember, make sure that you change directory to Zyn-Fusion-Build first. Because if you just try and run this, which we're about to run, in the main directory, not going to work. So make sure you go to the Zyn-Fusion-Build folder. And so we're here now. Clear. You're going to run this. Now this, I think, might actually be the only file or only line where this actually matters. But yeah, whatever the case, this is what you're going to run. Parallel equals 1, make mode equals release dash F, make file.windows.mk package. So basically it's going to grab this, and it's going to grab this, it's going to shove them together and make them so that you can work. It's going to give you an exe file, which is what we want, right? So it's going to do that, and at the end it's going to say something like, finished, exclamation mark, your package was made in release mode. If it says your package was made in demo mode or something, if it says anything about it being in demo mode instead of release mode, then you forgot to do this, or it didn't work, or something went wrong. But it's supposed to say something like finished, blah blah blah, your package was in release mode. And now, where it's going to be, is this going to be in the build folder. You're going to have a .zip file. As you can see, this is not .zip, but remember, this is just my personal Linux file. So this one was for Linux, not for Windows, because I'm on Linux right now. So, but yeah. In this folder, and the zip file, don't do this one. This one has like some dependencies and stuff. It's going to say stuff like this. Not this one. You're not looking at that. You're looking at this one. As you can see, there's some like executables here. There's going to be like a ZynAddSubFX exe and a Zyn-Fusion exe. So you are going to just have this file and the zip file. Take those, copy and paste them, or just copy the zip. The zip file has everything you need. You do not need anything that's not in the zip. So this is everything you need. But you could copy this if you want as well, because it's just, this is basically the unzipped version. So you're going to take the ex, do not actually, wait, hang on. Do not, no. Do not take anything out of here, but, like, you'll have the Zyn exe, Zyn-Fusion exe, and you'll have, like, DLLs. These are SOs because it's Linux. DLL's not a file type. But yeah, you'll have EXEs and DLLs and stuff. Do not move any of them out of this folder. they need this folder to work. So basically, if you like grab the exe and yoink it out, you put it on your desktop or something, and try and run it, it's not going to work. You have to run it from within the folder so that it can reach all of the stuff it needs, because it needs some of this stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole process. Here, building for Windows, building for Linux, we're going to just to quickly run over again, building for Windows by cross-compiling on Linux. We run this line, and then we move over to Windows to run this line. Then we take the resulting folder and bring it into Linux and run this line. And that's basically it. I mean, of course, we have all this stuff in between to make sure it runs properly, but yeah, that's it. Anyway, yeah, I'm just going to end the video here. No more editing afterward. So, yeah, see ya.